Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to InterJovem, your exchange program on the radio and web. This week, we have a very, very special guest straight from Serbia. You want to introduce yourself?
Hello, guys. My name is Mateja, and I'm from Serbia, Belgrade, better known as Zemun, like the special part in Belgrade. And yeah, I'm going to talk about Serbia today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So, you just said it. You're from Belgrade, which is the capital of Serbia?
Yeah, that's the capital. But actually, I'm from Zemun. That's like a different district in Belgrade, like because it has Novi Beograd, Zemun, Zvezdara, and all of the other like parts in Belgrade. But I live in Zemun, but it's basically Belgrade. I'm like 30 minutes away from the main city.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And is Belgrade the biggest city then?
Yeah, it
That's
is.
nice.
Yeah, the second one is I think it's Novi Sad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I know that Serbia is a landlocked country, so there's no beaches there. I know that there's like 9 countries that borders it. I think have it here. It's Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Macedonia, Croatia, Montenegro, Albania, Kosovo, and Bosnia.
Yeah, that's right.
How does that work? Because I know that these countries are not necessarily big. Do you guys have a relationship of like always traveling to these border countries or not?
Well, to be honest, people go to Montenegro and all of the other countries to go like on the beaches, but to be honest, I don't like going there just because there's a lot of Serbian people there, and basically when I go on a vacation, I want to hear another language, like see some different people, different areas. So basically, when I go on vacation, I usually go to Greece or like go to Austria, Prague, something like that.
Oh, that's nice. That sounds awesome. Is Serbia divided in states, like in here in the United States? We have
No,
Arizona,
it isn't.
California.
We just got Serbia. That's it.
So there's no states.
Yeah, no states.
Do you just like have the one capital and then that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But then like is it divided at least in regions, like north, south, something?
No, it isn't. No, not that much. It's just Serbia. That's it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So I know that Serbia is slightly smaller than South Carolina, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And is
you
there
mean population-wise or like
size?
Size, like
Yeah. How does how do people interact? Because I know that even though it's not such a huge place, you can kind of see a little bit of like cultural traditions that are different. Like maybe like the most northeast part or like the most southern part, you can see little bits of differences between like traditions. Like what are those differences? How does that work?
Well, basically, like there's a lot of different traditions in Serbia. Like a lot of them, like if I would start counting now, I will count like forever, because there's a lot of people, like lots of different students, people like from different countries, different cultures. But basically, like in Belgrade, you can see a lot of different people, but they're like the most mainstream people, like the people that live in the modern age. But if you go outside of Belgrade, like there's like more like people that are living on like low salary, and like they're doing like farming for their jobs, and they're not the same as people in Belgrade, not that modern.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I know that I heard that when you go like more to the north of Serbia, you can see more like rich soil. You can see more plants and like not a forest, but you can see more vegetation.
Oh yeah.
And then if you go to like the east, then you'll see more like a rocky
mountains.
scenario.
Yeah. Like I would say like Serbia is like 80% mountains and maybe like 20% like let's say like flat land. So it basically has a lot of rivers, a lot of mountains, a lot of flat land. So it's a pretty nice like area for like farming, like going skiing. Like you can do a bunch of stuff there. You got lakes, rivers, anything you can imagine. Just we don't have the sea. That's the problem.
That's nice. But so what do people tend to go more for, like when they're having like a vacation or something? Do they tend to go to the mountains or do they go to the rivers?
Well, the mountains are pretty popular. We have Koponik. Like it's a very nice resort for skiing. It's one of the most popular ones in Europe. And I went there like a couple of times, and it's pretty nice, pretty expensive also. But you can see a lot of like foreign people coming there skiing. And usually they just go skiing. Not that much of like go explore Serbia, but still you can see a lot of tourists in Belgrade, like trying to like see like the way we live, like the way we party and everything. We have fun here. Yeah,
that's nice. So, also I know that earthquakes are pretty common there, right? I heard.
They are, but to be honest, I never felt one.
Oh, really? So
every time I was sleeping or something like that. Yeah.
That's interesting, because I know that it was like one time in history that the country got like very devastated from an earthquake. I don't remember like when or where, but and how is the climate in there?
The climate, it's unpredictable. Pretty like this summer it was hot, but like here and there you can see some rain, and you actually question yourself: was it even summer? Like, is this even summer? What's going on? Like right now it's pretty cold. Winter gets pretty cold. Like on the mountains it's very cold. Like last year it was pretty cold while I was skiing. Like I could have, if I went out for skiing, I could have like taken only 1 hour of skiing, and after that my hands were frozen, my feet were frozen. I just come back to our room just to warm up. Like I didn't ski that much just because of the coldness.
Wow. And like what temperature does it get like?
Well, I know like Celsius wise, but yeah, in Celsius, like summers are like 30 Celsius, like top, and that's pretty nice. But if you want to say about winter, it's like 0 to -5, and on the mountains it's like it was like -20 last winter.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty cold.
-20. Oof.
I hate winter.
The coldest I've been was like in -4 or something. It's
that's
like nothing compared to that. Yeah. And so I want to know, what is one of your favorite things about your country?
That's a tough question, actually.
I
think the most favorite thing is just like the freedom you have in like terms of like transportation. Like if you're bored at home, you just like call some of your friends, take a bus. Like just like if they ask you for a ticket, you just say, "Oh, I'm under 18." You're good. You go like to the main part, and you go through the main street, and you can just hear a party, enter the party, have fun, like go crazy a little bit. Like it's pretty like free country.
That's nice.
I would say, yeah.
And how do people interact? Like when they greet each other, did they like hug? Did they shake hands? Or and like how are people friendly towards each other, or are they more like reserved?
You can find like some pretty negative people, and you can find some pretty positive people. There's a lot of negative people there, I would say. Like probably 80% is negative. Like when I want to ask, let's say I want to ask a question on the street, I would probably stay there for like 5 minutes just to see who I can ask actually, who looks nice to me, so I can choose a nice person, like not choose someone that's like angry or something like that, if you understand me. But people are like pretty here and there.
I see.
Yeah.
And because actually what I've heard is that Serbia was like once it was stated as the most hospitable people in the world. Like Serbians were the most hospitable people in the world. Yeah. So do they like apply any of that in like between themselves? Apparently not much, if you're saying that 80% is kind of like more reserved than the others.
Well, I would say they're open-minded to strangers, to foreign people that come to visit tourists. So usually tourists have a nice time staying there, because you can see a lot of different people, like crazy people, and you're like, oh, look at this guy, look at what's he doing, like that's funny, you know what I mean? But they're open, they're kind of open.
That's good, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So would you say that there's a lot of tourism there then?
There is a bit, yeah. Not that much, but there is tourism.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, from what I've heard about Serbians in history, I know that Serbians are usually known for being like very brave people. I know that like during the like their army broke the Thessaloniki in like 18 days, while like British and Italian, Greek, and French attempted to do it, but they couldn't never do it like, in months. So like you can see that they're like people that have a history of being persistent and like giving their best.
we have a very fiery heart. We're like fighters. We're not gonna give up. But I think the biggest issue we have today in Serbia, like let's put politics aside, everything aside, is like we're not together. We're not one. Mm-hmm. We actually look like everyone is looking out for themselves, and I think that's the biggest issue today. I think like back in the day when Serbia was one and all of the people were united, we were much stronger. Like we were small, but if we unite, we can do whatever we want. We're strong. You remember like Serbia was the best in basketball and everything, and now when it broken up from Yugoslavia, if you remember, I mean Yugoslavia was the best in basketball. Like they could beat the U.S. But right now when we broke up, there's nothing like we can do right now. I mean, we're still a powerful basketball. Like we have a strong basketball team, but it's not like back in the days when we were one and united. Right now, it's not like that.
Yeah, and it happens a lot in the world.
Yeah, that's a big problem. But yeah,
that's interesting. And wanted to know, how is progressivism in the country? Because I know that the literacy rate is 98.8% of people are able to read. Does that sound accurate to you? Like 98.8% of the population is able to read? That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But there's still a lot of people that are not well educated because they were like problematic, like always like angry, like aggressive, and like kids these days like they want to be tough for no reason. They want to skip school. They want to do anything they want. Like I can like come up to this guy, beat him up for no reason. Like, and like I think it's a big problem because they don't emphasize school that much, and like school is not that much of a process that is like make it fun for you and actually learn something. It's like the teachers like have a feeling like it's their job just to teach children, like just to teach them like and leave them alone. They don't want like to actually teach them like the thing they're teaching, like English, let's say mathematics or any profession.
I do want to get back to education later.
Oh yeah.
And would you say that people there are more how can I say this, like more open-minded in relation, like when talking about these like hard topics, like I don't know, maybe like abortion or like euthanasia, like these hard topics that are all around the world that are creating discussion about that. Do you see any kind of like type of mindset being predominant in Serbia of like maybe thinking that like the Netherlands, that you can see that more people are more like pro free choice, or maybe they have a more religious aspect to things? What would you say?
I would say like it's nothing special, but everyone has their own opinion in Serbia, and they're not gonna change it. That's it. Like you can't say like there's that much percent that's gonna say abortion no or to abortion yes. Everyone has their own opinion in Serbia, and they're not gonna change it.
So it's pretty divided, or is it like, or can you see the majority being in favor of one thing?
Well, it's pretty divided. Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
And okay, so do you see a lot of eco-friendly works being created? Because I know that they installed their first ever wind power not so long ago, and they have a plan for getting like 500 megawatts wind capacity by 2020, which is awesome. And, you know, it's not a huge country, so it's like having all that wind capacity is really nice. Do you see that people being mindful about the ecosystem, or is it just like some sporadic cases of some people that do that kind of work?
Well, I think all in all, like I would say Belgrade and other cities I've been to, they are pretty dirty and not well kept. But I think we're moving in a better economic like state. Like I think in the future we will be much better and cleaner as a country, all in all.
That's nice. Also, I know that 10.6% and like 4.8% of its GDP is spent on health-related expenditures and education. So that says a lot about how people are focus on making their own country better, and it's something that you can see all throughout history, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what's the drinking age in Serbia?
Well, the drinking age, it's 18, but you can drink like with 16, 15 already. Just be careful, nobody sees you. Yeah, just usually the cops don't care that much. Usually the parents care. I mean, some don't care at all, which is a bad thing, I think. But I think I think they should improve on that, because there's too much kids being aggressive after alcohol, too much bad stuff happening because of drinking and everything else.
And what's driving age?
18 also. I
18.
mean, you can pass the driving test earlier, but I think you have to wait a year or something like that to actually drive alone after passing.
And what's the voting age?
18 also.
18?
Yeah.
Is it true that if you have a job, you can vote when you're 16?
I'm not sure about that.
Because I saw that as one of the, I always do a little bit of research about the country before the interview, and I saw that this was one of the facts that, voting is, the suffrage is universal, which is quite common, but it says that if you can vote when you're 16 if you are employed, which I found really interesting, because in Brazil you can vote from the point you're 16, but it's facultative, you choose whether you want to vote or not until you're 18, from 16 to 18, and then from 18 on it's mandatory, you have to.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's really interesting. Is voting mandatory there, or is it you can choose whether you want to vote or not?
I think you can choose, I think. Yeah, if you're gonna vote or no. Yeah.
And does it how do how does it work? So a normal a republic, as you can see in the United States, or is it different in any way?
You just vote for the president, vote for the mayor of the town, and that's it. Nothing special.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long does the president stay in term?
2 years, I think.
2 years?
Yeah, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
I don't know that much about politics.
Oh, it's fine. So now let's get back to education. Is education usually public? Is it private?
There is public and private.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a big difference of quality between them?
I would say, because in private schools you don't have to have that much good grades. In the end, you're still gonna get the same diploma, and with that diploma you can do whatever you want in private schools. But in public schools, you have to go to college after high school, same here, so you can do actually something like as a job or something like that.
I see.
But at 18 you can start your own job if you want to risk it, if you know what I mean.
And but would you say it's good quality education in both of them?
I think it's good quality in private schools, but in public schools, not that much kids can afford private schools. But in public schools, I think it's pretty bad, because as I said, teachers don't actually teach you to understand the subject or master let's say art or something like that. They just teach you for a reason, it's their job to give you a grade, and that's it. They don't actually try to connect with you and try to actually teach you the thing.
I see.
Yeah.
And how do you guys have a national exam? There's the SAT here in the United States, or is it just for you to get to?
No, there isn't. I mean, you can take the SAT in Serbia for the United States, but we don't have.
So we don't have any. Okay.
No.
So is it what were the criteria for you to be admitted to a university or college?
Well, it depends on what college. If, let's say, for my case, if you want to go to our college, you would have to pass. I think it's 3 art exams. First one is drawing with pencil, second one is tempera or oil, and the third one is I think it's theoretical. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to go to a regular college, there's nothing to actually pass. You just have to have good grades to get to college.
So grades do matter.
Yeah, do matter. Yeah.
And compared to America, that we have maybe like 6 or 7 subjects per year, how does it work there? Do you have more than that?
It depends on schools.
Oh, okay.
I think we have 7 subjects or 6 subjects per day, but all in all, every day they change. So let's say all in all we have around 15 different subjects, which you have throughout the week.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Brazil works like that too, actually. Yeah. So... Okay, and are universities the same way? Like there's the public and private, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
And are they good quality? Do you see a lot of people leaving the country for going to university, maybe going to one of the border states?
I see a lot of people from high school and college go to the U.S. or other countries just because of better economic state and better chances of getting a good job. Because in Serbia, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, you can see a lady that finished a nice school, high educated school, working as a cashier. That's how it works actually. It's kind of sad, but that's the way it is. So I think that's the reason why most of the people move from Serbia to other countries, because there's much better salaries, better everything basically for the education you have.
I see.
Yeah.
And I want to know now about health. Is health public or private or both?
There's both.
Okay.
Yeah. The doctors are always nice. The doctors are usually, let's say, 9% of the chance you're gonna get a good doctor. But I think the whole institution, the whole building, it's in ruins. The equipment is bad. I think we should improve our hospitals equipment-wise and make them look better, much more like a home, and make you feel much safer.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And is it expensive if you go to a private one?
It depends. Yeah, it depends.
And do you see a big difference between the quality of a public and a private, or is it a very fine line?
I think the only difference between them, the doctors are pretty much the same. You're gonna get the same treatment, but I think just the private ones look much better. The building looks better. Everything looks better. The equipment is newer, and you feel much safer there. But it's basically the same.
And do you have a lot of do you have good healthcare plans?
Yeah, we do.
Nice.
Yeah.
And would you say that is reachable by the majority of society in Serbia to attend to those good quality health facilities?
Yeah, I think it is. I think let's say excluding the homeless people, I think everyone can afford the public one.
That's great.
Yeah.
So let's go a little bit into economy. What's the currency used there?
Dinar.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how much is that worth compared to dollars?
Well, I think 100 dinars is $1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you say that the countries that border Serbia have any kind of big economical relationship with each other?
With other countries? I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure.
I know that I saw this data that in 2016 the estimate is that almost $15 billion were exported in automobiles and other materials like iron and rubber, and also clothing and wheat, and also many other agricultural items. So is in metals as well, is that a big thing that you see there? Maybe a lot of automobile industries, or maybe food processing industries, or machinery, or
there's not much automobile industries. We have an automobile industry, but it's pretty old. But I think our food is pretty nice, and I think exporting our food is a good profit.
It's the biggest exporter of raspberries, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
And so would you say, like, would you know kind of like what's the biggest thing in the economy that like keeps the country going?
I'm not sure about that. I think it's probably industry. Yeah, industry.
Cool. Okay, now food. How you just said that food was great.
Yeah.
Is there any like traditional dishes from Serbia?
Well, traditional dishes. There's a lot of traditional dishes we actually call our traditional dishes, but it's actually Turkish because like when Turks were in Serbia, they made a lot of meals which they don't eat that much in Turkey right now. So we took that as our meal. We have sarma, which is like lettuce and meat inside it, and it's pretty nice. And not that much like food that's signature for us, like special, but we like to eat a lot of meat and just a lot of meat, fat. That's it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of like food chains in there, like with like McDonald's and stuff like that, or do you think
there is McDonald's, KFC. I think that's the most, like I think KFC and McDonald's are the most of them are KFC and McDonald's. Yeah.
And do you have a favorite traditional dish?
Favorite traditional dish? There's a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's hard because like when you've been in the United States for like I don't know how long, you start missing the food from your own country because you can't really see a lot of it in here.
Yeah, I think it's probably shish kebab. I think like it's like the same meat from a patty, from a hamburger, but it's not like circle. It's like a long shape, and it's fit in like a bread that's the same shape, and you just fill in anything you want, lettuce, ketchup, anything you want inside. It's nothing special, but I think that's one of the signatures for Belgrade.
Huh. That sounds really good, actually. Yeah. And is coffee big? Because like apparently all the interviews that I have in here, like older countries like love coffee for some reason. Is coffee popular there?
It is kind of, but we don't have our coffee. We have Turkish coffee, which is like black coffee, and we call it like homemade coffee. Oh. But it's actually Turkish. It's not homemade.
Oh,
it's not home.
So there is kind of like a lot of things that you like. It's adapted, and like you guys borrow a little bit of the culture from many different countries.
Yeah.
That's really nice. And now, sports. What would you say people like sports a lot there?
Oh yeah.
That's nice. What sport is like the most predominant one?
Probably football and basketball.
Football is in American football or like?
No, soccer. Sorry about that. I think there's a lot of rivalry between Red Star and Partizan, and that's one of the biggest rivalries in the world right now. I think you should look it up after. Yes. On YouTube. The fans are crazy. They're gonna beat up each other. They're gonna kill each other. I mean, for me, it's funny to actually watch it. It's hype and lit, but it's not that clever for me. Like, I think those people are kind of, I would say, stupid.
I see. Yeah. In Brazil,
because why would you kill each other? I know you support this club, you support the other club, but why would you kill your own person from your own country?
Yeah, honestly, that happens a lot.
Because of a club, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely see that. And would you say basketball is big there too?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of big. Basketball and football.
That's nice.
Yeah, but we have a tennis player, Novak Djokovic. You know him, probably.
Yeah, I actually do.
Yeah. Like he's the best tennis player in the world.
In the world, yeah.
And I think he's representing our country in the best light ever. Like. He fell off maybe a couple of months ago. He fell off, and everyone was saying bad things about him. But at the other hand, nobody thought about him like what he did for our country. Like he was the #1 tennis player in the world, representing our country in the best light and like the best ways. Even if we as like a country and people are not that good, he was still out there representing us as the best country in the world.
That's awesome. Bringing a lot of good visibility.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Okay, so now I always make this thing and get like a list of curiosities that I find online after searching a while. Then I want you to tell me if those sound about right for you, or if it surprises you
True
in any
or
way.
false?
Kind of, yeah. Okay, so it says Serbia is the place of the highest number of Roman emperors born in one country. It says that 18 Roman rulers were born in the country.
I think it is.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. Also, there's actually that kind of a canyon in there too. It's kind of the. I have no clue how to pronounce this.
Temštice.
Temštice.
That wasn't that close, to be honest. Yeah. Temštice. It's a canyon. Yeah.
That's nice. Is it very popular? Is it like a big tourist attraction there?
It is kind of, not that much.
No, it's like the Grand Canyon.
No.
I see. And also, the first vampire was created there. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I don't know that much about it. I just know that it's the first vampire ever there, like vampire. If they even exist.
I know that it comes like from like the word like vampire. It's like something like this.
Vampire.
Yeah. So that's where the word comes from. That's really nice. It's written in 1725 by Peter Blagojevic. I'm terrible at pronouncing stuff. Also, I heard there's like during June there's the blooming of the Tita River or something with like it's kind of like a ritual, like a ritual of like migration of insects or something. Mm-hmm. Is that really a thing?
Yeah, I think it is a thing. Yeah, but I never like thought about it that much. Mm-hmm. But it is a thing. Yeah.
So it's not really big then.
No.
Okay, and so also one is it's like Serbia formed a union with Montenegro in 1992.
Yeah. And
split up again in 2006 to become independent. So that kind of shows a little bit how these countries that are bordering Serbia have a, would you say, good relationship with each other?
With Bosnia and Montenegro, I think they have.
Mm-hmm.
But with Croatia, not that much. Like there's a lot of hate between Serbia and Croatia, which I think there shouldn't be. But I don't know that much about it because I wasn't born then yet. But Yugoslavia was one country with all of the countries that you said, like Serbia, Montenegro, mm-hmm. Croatia, Slovenia, and it split up, and just Croatia and Serbia till that day have bad blood between them. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, that Serbia was ahead of the Swiss in clock making. They said that they started doing fabricating clocks almost 600 years before the Swiss.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
That's very interesting.
I didn't check the facts, but I think that's true. Actually, I don't know.
That's awesome because the Swiss are known for their watches, and it's kind of a biggie. And that Nikola Tesla was Serbian. I had no idea.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
He was Serbian. He did not invent electricity, but he in some way helped in like having electricity in our homes. And you can see Tesla as a car that's influenced by him. And I think he was a great scientist. Yeah. He made a lot of influence.
It's like one of the most important like inventors in history.
He was in the U.S. once, I think, at Niagara Falls. I think so. With some American scientists with electricity. And I don't know what he actually did there. But that was pretty soon after that he died, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very impactful person. Oh, yeah. Now, what are some important holidays that you can see in Serbia? Or maybe not that important, but holidays that people party a lot, or when people travel or something?
Well, the most important holiday, I think it's Christmas. And New Year. But there's a lot of holidays. Like they're not holidays. There's like celebrations of different saints from the church. But I don't. I usually just go to them. Like sometimes you can host that holiday, or you can go to your friend or to your neighbor to that holiday. But I don't have one because I don't have a religion.
Mm-hmm.
My parents do have, but I don't have a religion, so I just go out and eat. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, and other than Christmas, is there any other like big one that people party a lot? Maybe.
Party a lot. We party every day. What do you mean?
Yeah, right. Why do you need the holidays?
Yeah,
to party?
we don't need the holiday to party. We just party. Just
and
kidding.
When is? Go ahead.
We have 1st May.
Mm.
I'm not sure for what reason it's special, to be honest, but it's just a day when you go out with friends in the wilderness and like make barbecue.
Oh.
Yeah, and just have fun, drink beer.
Barbecue is always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, when does school like end? Is it in the middle of the year or?
It's same like here, just a little bit later
okay.
on.
Because in Brazil, like it starts in kind of February and ends in November, so it's kind of like flipped.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And okay, is there anything else that you think you would like to add about your country? Something you would like to let us know that you think is interesting about Serbia?
I think nothing special about Serbia. I just like Serbia because it's home and all of my friends were there. To be honest, I would love to live here, but when I think about it, I can't take all of my friends and all of the people I love from there to here. And I think for me, Serbia is a special country just because of the people there. That's it. Nothing else. I just think the people are pretty nice there.
That's awesome. That's very nice. And it's definitely a big move to like change country, you know? It's like a lot of people look at it and think it's just like amazing and you're like, you know, having like the time of your life in another country. A lot of times it is, you know, it's great, but it takes a lot of courage and determination to do something like that. You how long have you been here for?
3 months.
3 months. So,
yeah.
And you pretend not.
Yeah, it's a big risk. It's not a risk actually. It's more like giving up the things you love for like, let's say a couple of years to have a better life tomorrow. Like it's just the risk you take to have a better life. Yeah. You just need to take it sometimes.
Yes, and it takes courage. It does.
It does.
To go to like a complete different country, complete different language and traditions and culture and everything. It does take a lot of determination for you to go through that, and you know, with a, you know, with your.
Well, for me, it was to come here. It was a dream. Like maybe like from 3 years ago, I was talking about it, and never actually like, okay, let's see some schools, and like maybe last year, my dad was like, okay, do you listen now? Do you want to go or do you not want to go? And I was like, I want to go. Okay, let's make it happen. And like this, I was in the U.S. Like I have to be thankful for my parents, for my dad, for my mom, for my grandparents that financed everything. And like I think I don't want to offend my mom first of all, but I think my dad made the most influence on me. I mean, mom does her part always, like make the child safe, food and everything. But I think dad is the one that actually always motivated me and pushed me to the limits. And actually was like, I respect him because if any time I right now I want to say I want to go back, he would totally accept it, like, because that's my choice, and every time he's gonna support my choice to the maximum. If I said right now I want to play tennis, he will say, okay, let's play tennis. I will spend all my money for you to be successful in tennis. You know what I mean? That's why I respect my parents, because they educated me well. They made me like a person which I don't like depend on other people. I just have my opinions, my way of thinking, and I just gotta thank for that.
That's nice.
There's a lot of risks. I'm gonna take my girlfriend also, which I left home, and like it's not easy for me. It's not easy for her, but I think we're gonna get through it like easy.
Yeah, and it's good to like tell a little bit about that to people that are watching, because a lot of people do want to get into the same kind of experience, but they don't see like all the sides of it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely good to share a little bit about that. So thank you for that.
Thank you for having me here.
So I know you taught me how to say. Wait, was it dobro jutro?
Yeah, dobro jutro.
Dobro jutro.
Good morning.
Good morning. And how to say good night?
Laku noć.
Laku noć.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? Cool. And good nightin'. Is that right?
What?
No, that's never mind. That's Turkish. That was bad. Sorry about that.
The Serbian's gonna hate you for this.
Yeah, sorry. How do you say goodbye?
Ciao. Like
Ciao.
Ciao is like you can say hi and goodbye with ciao
Okay.
at the same time, or you can say vidimo se, like see ya, see you later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Vidimo se.
Vidimo se.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I think that was a wrap for today. Thank you so much for coming.
All right.
I had a great time. It was really, really nice information. Would you like to say anything?
Say anything?
Final? I don't know. Maybe like send a message to your family or something.
To my family? Oh, I don't know what to say to my family. I don't know. I'm coming back soon. That's it.
Yeah.
Winter break.
Soon. Yeah.
Coming back soon.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this very interesting country. And see you next week, same time. Ciao.
Ciao.
Yay!
Woohoo! Was that good? How long was it?
That was 42 minutes.
Nice.
That was awesome. Great job,
That was
guys.
great.
That
Thank
was
you.
so awesome.
That was cool, and it's really good that we have to start like asking people about their journey
Yeah.
coming to the United States more, because it's not easy, like to do something like that. It's like, I mean, it's not super hard, but it's also not the easiest thing in the world. It takes guts. Like, for example, you had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's like
it takes courage.
It takes a lot, and like determination of like going like, okay, now I wanna, like, I'm gonna put everything back, like leave all my family and all my friends that like I have for my entire life, and I'm gonna start a complete different life from scratch and make it happen.
Yeah.
It's not, you have to be very determined
Yeah, it's
to
very
do
hard.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.